Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending on where you're joining us from. Thank you so much for taking the time out of your day for our Getting Started with Trailhead webinar. Um, so, I'm your host today. My name is Dana Hall, and I'm a senior manager on the Trailhead marketing team. And please, before we get started, I want to remind you that Salesforce is a publicly traded company, so please make all of your purchasing decisions based on current features and functionality. So just enjoy what we're saying today, but only make purchasing decisions on what you could actually get today. No forward promises. The most important thing that I want to do is say thank you to everyone on this webinar. And our success is your success is our success. We couldn't have done any of this without you. This whole Trailblazer community, this whole phenomenon is because of you. So thank you so much. I also want to remind you to get social with us. I run our social handles here at Trailhead. So we have our Twitter handle here, Facebook, and our blog on Medium. We know that you'll have questions from this webinar, so just join the conversation on the chat feature you see in your GoToWebinar dashboard. You can also join in on the conversation in the Trailhead group in the Trailblazer community. The fastest way to go there is through sfdc.co/Trailhead community. Or search for Trailhead in the Trailblazer community. We'll have a Q&A at the end of the webinar, so stick around, but feel free to post your questions as we go. All right, today we will be talking about what is Trailhead, why should you learn on Trailhead, what makes Trailhead so special, why is everyone so crazy about it, and what are some recommended tips and tricks that I have for you to get the most out of your Trailhead experience. So as you know, the way learning in general there's been a change. So when we created Trailhead, we wanted to close the skills gap and help people learn the way they wanted to. And the way we learn has changed. A lot of what we're doing is not the same way we learned growing up in school. So much like the Netflix model of content, learners are looking for that same sort of on-demand service. I don't want to sit through a whole presentation, a whole session. I want to know exactly what I need to know for my experience. So I'm given this new lifestyle of learning, of choice, of being self-directed. It's proven that bite-sized learning is what sticks. More importantly, content that is personalized to the learner, that is competency-based, those are the sorts of things we're looking for. We want to be able to learn as we go. These are skills we're learning for our jobs. So we need to keep doing our job and keep learning. So we can do it together in a self-directed, on-demand way. So what is Trailhead? What is everyone talking about? What's going on? So Trailhead is the fun way to learn Salesforce. With Trailhead, we want you to learn, earn, and connect. So that means learning. When we say that, it's learning at your own pace with learning paths that are designed just for you online with Trailhead, or learning in the classroom, which we have some great classroom experiences taught by Salesforce experts. And you can even learn from fellow Trailblazers in our community. So that's online in our Trailblazer community, but also in person at events, at user groups, things like that. And that kind of leads us into earning. So when we say earning, you are not only earning badges and points on Trailhead, which we'll talk about, but you're also earning credentials. So earning super badges. Right now, I believe we have 11 super badges you earn, and certifications where I believe we have 25 opportunities to earn certifications. So there's a lot of opportunities for you to demonstrate not only that you're learning and you're self-directed and you're passionate about your own success, but also demonstrating that you have that sort of competency, that you've earned these credentials. And then connecting. So connecting with your fellow Trailblazers. You can not only connect online on the Trailblazer community, which I would love for you to join. We have over 2.5 million friends there. It's open 24/7. But also join your local user groups. The Trailblazer community is what makes Trailhead and Salesforce so amazing. There you have local user groups in your area where you can get connected. You can also join Salesforce Saturday programs, join different community-generated events like our Dreaming events, or go to local events that we have all over the world, world tours. We also have obviously Dreamforce and Trailhead DX here in San Francisco. So there's many great opportunities to connect with your peers. And so for the purpose of today's webinar, we're actually going to be focusing on Trailhead for learning and learning online, so that online element of the learn. So what's great about Trailhead is that when you log in, you're going to see kind of a guide for what you need to do. So we have trails, modules, and super badges. We have projects as well. And these are all a variety of content that are available for you for all roles and levels. And so the trails are built out in a logical way that builds on the knowledge. You're going to go through a topic, and each module will build on what you learned in the last module. And so modules are a great introduction to specific topics in bite-sized units of time. They can be 10 to 20 minutes long. They can include either a multiple choice challenge if it's going over something that's more of a vocab or a general understanding, or what's really the bread and butter is what we call a hands-on challenge, and we'll talk about that shortly, where you're getting hands-on into a real org called a Trailhead Playground. So you're really going to be building and learning. So we also have projects, which are just like modules, but they're more instruction-based versus narrative-based, and then moving on to super badges, and that's a part of that credential process I talked about earlier. So super badges require you to complete certain modules just to unlock the ability to attempt the super badge, and based on your learning, you're given a real-world business scenario to solve through a series of hands-on challenges. So they take a longer amount of time, and you earn the most points for a single badge on Trailhead. And the reason that they're so intense and so amazing is that it's a real life experience that you can prove that if you've earned that super badge, you can do something that you might be asked to do at work, and you really are proving your credential there. So it's a really exciting opportunity. It's also important to note that Trailhead is not a static resource. We have a monthly content release. I like to say we have the hardest working editorial team in the business. So we're regularly releasing new content, and we're also updating existing content. So you can always trust that when you're learning on Trailhead, you're learning the latest and greatest content. So not only are we putting out fresh content that's about totally new materials, we're updating existing content, because as you might know, Salesforce as a company is regularly creating seasonal releases and updating and innovating. And so Trailhead is keeping pace with that. So you can trust that learning on Trailhead means you're learning the latest and greatest that there is to learn. So there's also a way to find the latest content on Trailhead if you go to the Trail Mixes tab, and we'll talk a little bit about Trail Mixes shortly. All right, so now I've told you what Trailhead is, and you might be thinking, why should I learn on Trailhead? Well, here are our Trailblazers. So Trailblazers are individuals who are creating great opportunities for their own careers, their own lives, and their families, and also great opportunities for their business. So Trailblazers transform themselves to put their customer at the center of their business. They're taking steps to create the best possible customer experience. They work hard for their company. If you feel like you want to dig in and dive in, then you can be a Trailblazer as well. So these are all actual customers that we have, and they're the most important members of our Ohana, our Salesforce family, and they're our biggest fans and our best advocates. So it's more than just being a Trailblazer and making a lot for yourself and learning. It's also diving in and being a part of this amazing Salesforce economy. It's our Trailblazers that are helping drive this Salesforce economy. In fact, a recent study from IDC mentions that Salesforce economy will generate 3.3 million jobs by 2022. But what I like the most is that 2 of the top 10 jobs are Salesforce jobs, so admin and dev. So we're having a huge impact socially, on the GDP, on job opportunities for you, for your family. It's a great opportunity to be a part of it. So that demand extends across multiple careers. It's not just admins and devs. We see our Trailhead mascot, Astro, here from day one. So Astro has always been your guide to Trailhead, empowering you to be anything you want to be. And we wanted to take Astro's role one step further with a new series we're calling Trail Guides. So Trail Guides are personalized learning journeys led by Astro based on specific roles and experience levels. And these empower anyone to learn the skills of the future. It's not just admins and devs. It's sales, manager, marketing manager, architect, or business analyst. There's a learning journey for you. So trailheads begin on the new Trailhead homepage. Whether your goal is to become an admin or an architect, there are fun, personalized cross-channel learning journeys assigned just for you. So we've always said that trailblazing is a team sport, and with trail guides by your side, we know you'll be able to scale up and land your dream job or improve the job that you currently have. And so by signing up here, if you want to learn more about career paths, you can start down on a trail guide learning journey for yourself. So what makes Trailhead so special? A lot of things. Trailhead is this gamified learning experience. Not only does it have all this valuable content that I'm talking about, just content that will help you improve your career, improve your ability to work at your job as you have it now or the one you hope to have in the future, but it's not just great learning, because a lot of things have great content, but what's so great about it is it's fun and it will make you want to continue learning. And so we do that by having this gamified learning experience. You climb the ranks by earning badges and points, and you can share your progress and your badges earned on your favorite social channels. You can add them. They'll be added to what you're seeing right here, which is your Salesforce resume, your Trailblazer profile. So one of the first things you'll notice when you're doing a unit is that Trailhead is not only just extremely valuable learning information. It's written in a way that's fun, that's easy to understand. It's the teams that have worked in Trailhead are working on a conversational tone. They're putting in some jokes and some puns in addition to videos and graphics that kind of work with all the different modalities of learning. And they're really trying to break up the usual style of dull reading by livening it up, not only with their voice and tone, but also with some multimedia, just to make sure that no matter what way you learn, that Trailhead works for you. So as I've kind of referenced, and as you can see on the screen here, this is what we're calling your Trailhead profile or your reinvented Salesforce resume. So on this resume, you can make it public. You can link it to your LinkedIn or your personal website, on your social channels. You can also put a link to it on your actual paper resume if you're handing those out. And so what this will do is it gives a summary of all the badges and points you've earned up to date. It will give a chart of your skill strengths. And at the bottom, you can even add more information about yourself, your experience, what you're looking for, your interests, that sort of thing. So the more you learn, the more you can start to see the breakdown of your experience, not only in the badges here in the badge section, but in the skills section. So if you want to make sure that you're demonstrating a certain skill set, particularly asked for in a job that you're looking for, in a promotion you're looking to get, or just in the current role that you're working on, you can earn more and see that skills chart change. So you can also fill this all out and make it public. You can also keep it private if that's if you're just doing this learning for yourself. It doesn't have to be a public experience, but you can certainly make it public and then share that process. We have something called vanity URLs where you can customize the URL, so it can, at the end, you can have it say like your names, like /Dana Hall or Jeanette Gomez in this case. And so it's a fun way to either personalize it seriously like that, or you can even give yourself a fun name if you want to be known as like the, Salesforce All-Star, something like that. I've seen a bunch of really fun vanity URLs. So I talked a little bit about this before. So when you're learning on Trailhead, you can get assessed with a multiple choice quiz, which you've probably seen before. It's like the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire, or maybe the way that you learned in school a lot, which, A, B, or C. And that's valuable in some cases, especially when it has to do with vocab. But what's really kind of the game changer about Trailhead is that you're able to get hands-on and validate your skills. So what that means is you're getting something we call a Trailhead playground, which is just like a production org that one might have at a company where you work currently or where you're hoping to work. And you can go into that Trailhead playground and learn by doing. So you're using that playground to do hands-on challenges that are being described within Trailhead. So you see the directions on Trailhead, and you go into your Trailhead playground and you do what you've been asked to do. So in this case, you're being asked to create a validation rules and to check to see what you're doing to indicate whether an opportunity has passed. And so what you're doing here is actually doing something you might be doing at work, but within a safe org that we call a Trailhead playground, where you can't really, quote unquote, mess anything up because it's a safe space for you to play. And if you want to start over, you can just generate a totally new Trailhead playground. So the Trailhead Playground, you're doing your work, and then when you feel like you've done it, you can go click check challenge in Trailhead, and Trailhead will speak to the Trailhead Playground. They'll connect, and it will validate whether you did the work correctly. If you didn't do the work correctly, it will give you an error message with a bit of a hint on what was perhaps done wrong. And so why that's really important is, what's great about Trailhead is, yes, you're learning on demand, you're learning on your own time, but you have maybe no one's with you, maybe you're by yourself, but that's okay, because this hands-on challenge that validates your skills will be as if you have a tutor with you, checking your work and letting you know if you should go back and relearn something or if you're ready to move forward. So that's huge. So recommended tips and tricks. As you can see here in this GIF, hopefully it's loading for you guys. Once you are actually logged into Trailhead and you want to navigate the trails and modules or projects tabs, you'll see some handy filters at the top of the page. So there's a lot of content on Trailhead, and I don't want you to feel intimidated by that. Hopefully it's exciting. And one of the reasons why you definitely shouldn't feel intimidated is that we have many ways for you to find what you need. So you shouldn't feel like you don't know what direction to go down. One way you can do it is following the trails. So maybe you're starting on admin beginner, and then you're going to go through all the modules in that trail, and then admin intermediate, and then admin advanced. You can follow the trails like that. Or if you want to pick and choose, you can go by your role and your level. Maybe there's a certain product someone talked about at work or at a conference or at a user group meeting you want to learn about. Maybe they were talking about IoT and you're not really sure what that is. You can search specifically for that tag, and you can find what's right for you. So there's lots of different ways to surface up the content that you're looking for. So one of the ways here is this tag and filters. We also have a search bar at the top, which is very traditional, where you can kind of write anything and it will pull up whatever it is you're looking for. And it'll pull up any module, trail, project, even super badge that has that concept. So hopefully you're going to find everything you need and find it in a way that works for you. So what do you do when you find something? So you shouldn't feel like that you need to bookmark things in your browser or write things down in a notebook, because what you can do is save things with favorites. So as you can see here in this GIF, we're favoriting these trails, and that will not only highlight them and get them to the top of your trail page when you're searching, but also it will put it on a favorites tab in your instance of Trailhead that's customized to you. So if you want to go back and see something that you were interested in but didn't have time to look through, or was mentioned and you are like, oh, note to self, I need to go over this, you can favorite it as a way to kind of bookmark it to see it later. And that's all within your Trailhead. So no matter where you log in on any computer, those things will be there. It's not just on a certain browser on your work computer, for instance. And so that's great. And so, I've talked a lot about trails a few times so far in this webinar, and those are groupings of content on Trailhead that we think make sense given your role or your product interests. But what if you don't agree with us? Because, hey, we're open to that. Or what if you want to customize a trail for a certain person you're hiring at work, or a friend who wants to learn more about Salesforce, or for yourself based on what you see is necessary in a role at a job you have currently or you're hoping to have? Well, then maybe our trails aren't exactly what you want. Maybe what you want to do is make a trail mix. And so a trail mix is like a Spotify playlist or a mixtape. And so what you're doing is you're customizing the Trailhead content. So you can create custom Trailhead playlists for yourself or for your employees. So what does that exactly mean? It means that you're curating a list of specific trails, modules, projects, and even super badges into one trail mix, one playlist. So you can put it in the order that you think is necessary, and you can call it what you want. And the reason that that's valuable is maybe you have a new hire that's going to be an office manager and a bit of an admin, and you want them to know not only the basics of Salesforce, but also maybe how to behave at work. So we have some soft skills on Trailhead, which I haven't gotten much of a chance to talk about. So equality at work, how to have a great one-on-one coaching and feedback, learning how to be a good person at work, in addition to learning those technical skills you need to do a good job at work. So you can create a trail mix just for that person in mind, just for that role, or for your sales team, etc. And so another another way you might want to do is do what we're calling a what we call trail tracker. And so that's a way for you to, not only are you making these trail mixes for your team, maybe for your new hires, but you can also track how they're doing these badges. So for your fellow employees or anyone you manage at your job, you can track and assign badges. So you can say, I want everyone to earn this one badge by Friday, and anyone who doesn't, I'm going to pull a report. I'm just going to know I'm going to be, tapping you on the shoulder to remind you. You can even have a contest internally. I want everyone at work to know the basics of Salesforce. So we're assigning these badges, and the first team to complete it wins a prize, something like that. So Trail Tracker is a free app available in App Exchange, and trail mixes are built right into Trailhead, and you can make as many as you want by going to the Trail Mixes tab in Trailhead. Ready to get started? So we've covered a lot of information very quickly, and I want to just make sure that you know what to do when you are off the call. So we have, it's a little bit meta, a getting started on Trailhead Trail Mix that kind of goes over what we learned today. So if you go to this short link, Getting Started with Trailhead, you'll be able to see, what we went through today, and you're also going to find a really great new trail on Trailhead, which is called Learn Salesforce with Trailhead. So not only is it going to go over what we did today, but it's going to make sure that you feel comfortable creating your user. So you actually can go to that Learn Salesforce with Trailhead before you even create your user. It'll show you the best way to create a user. It'll explain kind of the words that we use, trails, modules, and projects one more time so you can really feel like you understand it. It'll show you a little bit more about how you go through our challenges, how you check the challenges. There's a whole second module in that 2-module Trail Learn Salesforce with Trailhead that goes over just the Trailhead profile. The Trailhead Playground. And so that will show you how to use the org, how to make sure you're checking your challenges properly. It will make you feel like you definitely can dive right in. We also have these links separately that you can make sure you're joining the Trailblazer community. Make sure you're checking out our blog. Make sure you're learning how to properly personalize your Trailhead profile. So it's going to really get you set up as if I was right there with you in your house, which I know you wish that I was, and I do too. So this trail mix will get you going once we're done here today. So now I'm going to pop over to see if we have any questions, because we have about 5 minutes left. I'm seeing another question here that is, how do you customize learning for your company? So if you have a need to customize learning for your company, one of the best ways to do it, I would say, is the trail mixes that I talked about. So mixing and matching the existing content on Trailhead for whatever the needs are for the roles at your company. If you want to customize your learning even more, so not only mixing and matching what's already available on Trailhead, but if you want to have specific content customized for how your company works, or for something about at your company that's maybe not even Salesforce related, you want to have some soft skills that are particular to your company, that sounds like you might be interested in My Trailhead, which is an upcoming product that we have. And so if you Google My Trailhead, you'll be able to see that we have something coming out there, and you can even start talking to some of our reps today about it. It's not currently available, but it will allow you to customize not only the modules and trails of Trailhead and creating kind of content just for you, but you can rename them. You can put whatever images you want. It's everything. It's the architecture of Trailhead, but with the content that you want. So that's a separate tool that is related and pretty awesome. So you can check that out. All right. Someone asked, how will we attract students? Well, that's a really great question. So if you mean students of a school age and not just the fact that we're all students, we have a program called Trailhead for Students. So we're going around the world and introducing Trailhead as a learning model for practical business skills to universities all around the world. We specifically have a relationship now with many universities within India and the United States, and we're working on other countries as well. And so the goal there is we have a lot of students learning business who are hoping to go into business and to sales, and they need to learn the tools of the modern day business place, and Salesforce is certainly one of them. So hopefully that does that. So what's the difference between, another question, a Trailhead Playground and a dev org? Nothing. So it's really just a name, but the Trailhead Playground comes automatically and free and easily with your Trailhead account. So dev orgs are something that developer editions, technically is what they're called, or something that we've had in the past. They're still available, and you certainly can have them and keep them, and you can affiliate them with your current Trailhead profile. But the Trailhead Playground is just another name for Developer Edition, but it's one that comes baked in to your Trailhead account when you log in. So what's great about that is you don't have to know much or go do it too much digging to get into that that practice org. It comes straight with your account. So there's that. Where is a Trailhead resume located? No problem. So if you go to your if you're logged into Trailhead and you go to your account, you can click on your icon right there, and there'll be a drop down that has your profile. And so when you're in that profile, you can scroll down and mark it as public if you'd like, and then share that URL. All right. How do you sign up for Trailhead? So if you just go to the Trailhead site, there's up on the upper right-hand corner, there's a login and a sign up button. So you can click the sign up button, and you can either log in with your production credentials or with social. So you could log in with Gmail and or LinkedIn, or I believe Facebook actually. So what happens after you earn badges? Great question. So after you earn badges, you're showing what you know. So it's great for you. You can have them on your profile. You can show what you've learned to those in need, but you also go up the ranks. And a lot of the times what's kind of fun is not only is it good for you and your experience, but you are maybe participating in a contest. There's a lot of contests that go on that I run. So we have actual tangible prizes that are part of maybe a New Year's resolution campaign, where if you earn X number of badges, you can earn a tangible prize. So while that's not the only reason you would want to learn on Trailhead, it's a great incentive to get learning in particular. So we're running up at the 10:30 end. I have a lot of questions. I want to answer them all. So it looks like I might be able to do that. And if you have any extra questions that I didn't answer and I can't get to you, please, if you're on Twitter, just tweet at me at @DanaHall, and I'd be happy to talk to you and take some time to make sure that you feel good about getting started on Trailhead. I'm super passionate about it. And if that doesn't work, frankly, I'm just going to give you guys my email. It's Dana, D-A-N-A, dot, like as in a period, Hall, H-A-L-L, @salesforce.com. So please let me know if you have any questions. I want you to feel comfortable that you can use Trailhead in your life, personally and at work. So take care and have a great rest of your day or evening.